Hey everybody, movie reviewer next door here, and I am back. Yes, I am not dead. It's been like a week or two, whatever. I have not been watching a lot of movies lately. I've been very busy with my job. I will make a video, few minutes maybe, talking about what's been going on in my life. Not like too deep in details of me, because I don't want to get doxxed or whatever. But just basically explaining where my headspace is and everything. But I did want to do some haul videos of movies that I've purchased, and if you hear a fan, there is a fan running. My room gets very stuffy, and if I go too long without there being consistent air flowing, I tend to get really sick, and I've been kind of sick lately, so I'm just doing that for my health. But I did test it. You can hear me, actually, so if you can't hear me, try using earbuds. But I did want to start this off with kind of an AMA, or not an AMA, a call to action. I did post about this on Reddit. I did not find this at Dollar General. This is about my first Dollar General haul of recent, but I found this a bit ago. Eric Roberts, Brigitte Bacco, Wrong Number. I'm very curious if anybody who subscribed to me can tell me anything about this, because Eric Roberts, as I see on the back, it says "and Eric Roberts," which usually means that actor is not in the film that long, and it's just to have them on the front cover. And I'm guessing this didn't pass any. I'm guessing because the agents of the actors choose where they're put on the poster or the front of the DVD or whatever. And Eric Roberts is put first when Brigitte Bacco is the real star, I think. I have not seen this film. It's on the very low end of Brigitte Bacco's filmography on Letterboxd, which is usually done by the amount of reviews or amount of ratings or just the popularity. But yeah, in the front it says, like, be careful who you hang up on, Wrong Number. Like, neither the title nor the tagline seem to have anything to do with the movie. It's very odd. I'm guessing this was a DVD screener for critics or something for the DVD release. I'm guessing there's an actual DVD release other than this, but I can barely find any information on this online. So if anyone can help me with this, very much appreciated. But now, to start the actual haul, I'm going to start it with these. There's a bunch of these. If you've been to a Dollar General, you know what these are. They're like sleeves. They'll have like a movie in them for like $1. They had them bunched up, a bunch of them like in 2 packs, like back to back. So I'm gonna go through those as if that. The first back to back pack was this thing called For the Love of Dolly. I'm guessing it is about Dolly Parton. I don't know what exactly. It seems to be about fans and how they came to know Dolly Parton, and there's footage of her in it. She's not really in it, like, interviewed or anything. But that's not the main reason. I got it for A Scanner Darkly, directed by Richard Linklater, which I have not seen yet. I'm very interested in it. Keanu Reeves is in it. People were saying it's like the best Philip K. Dick adaptation. So far, I'd say Total Recall, but I haven't seen a ton of Philip K. Dick adaptations. Next one, 2 Christmas movies, or the Christmas special and a Christmas movie. You got Frosty the Snowman. I've always liked Frosty the Snowman. Always thought it was a good one. It was Rankin and Bass animated instead of claymation or whatever. They had like a made-up term for what it actually was. And Joyeux, Noel, Merry Christmas, starring Diane Kruger. I've heard of this movie. I never saw it. I think it's in another language, but I'm not too sure. But I just knew, Diane Kruger, Christmas movie, that's nice. Next one, oh yeah, and these bunched together ones, it was $1 for 2 discs, which I thought was, fine. Four Christmases. I've heard of this movie. I don't know if I'll ever watch it. It's only 89 minutes long. I can watch it like some other time, maybe. And a Criterion, A Christmas Tale. Catherine Deneuve is in this, and I haven't seen a ton of films with her. It seems she works with a lot of similar actors, but it's Criterion. I'm willing to give it a chance. I think it's 2.5 hours long, but we will see. The Mark of Zorro, you can barely see that, but the Mark of Zorro from 1940, never seen it. It's got the color and black and white version. And The Matador with Pierce Brosnan, Greg Kinnear. I think it's an action comedy. I've always been kind of curious about that. And the last of the twos, Elegy with Penelope Cruz and Ben Kingsley, I think. And the main one I was curious about was The Summer Hours, which looked like kind of like your normal Criterion movie, but I was still willing to give it a chance. And the one Blu-ray one, this one actually was $1. I have this movie on DVD, but Righteous Kill. I've heard good things about this movie, and I've heard terrible things about it. It's from Millennium, so I was obligated to pick it up because I wanted to look at more Millennium films. That was the company that put out The Olympus Has Fallen, London Has Fallen, Angel Has Fallen, the Expendables films, a lot of action films back in the 90s, back when they were a company called New Image. I'm very interested in looking at more of their films. But yeah, kind of dreading watching a Robert De Niro Al Pacino movie because I'm not a big fan of either. If I had to say the one I like the more, I guess I'd say Al Pacino. Robert De Niro is one of those actors, I'm not going on a big tangent, but Robert De Niro is one of those actors that I think earlier in his career he was really good. But once it got to 1990, around the Goodfellas times, I think he took a hard nosedive in acting because it felt like every job he did was just for money. To me, it feels like he didn't have much motivation. Al Pacino, I always just enjoyed him. Scarface, I've always really liked Scarface. But yeah, I'm gonna get to the actual DVDs and Blu-rays. So, in no real order, I've got the single movies and single DVDs, and then the collections, but Cold Weather, directed by Aaron Katz. I have not seen any Aaron Katz films. I was just very interested in this. Seemed like a detective story. Very, just like, seemed like it would be interesting. I'm always up for supporting indie film, since I want to be a filmmaker. Pokemon Detective Pikachu with Ryan Reynolds and Justice Smith. I'm not a big fan of either actor. I just still wanted to give it a chance because I'm curious how a Pokemon movie will look 3D. I'm not a big fan of the designs I saw in the trailer, but I'm still equal opportunity kind of guy. When the Starlight Ends. Yeah, I can be a heartless romantic, or whatever the term is. But the reason I got this was Sam Heughan stars in it, who is in Outlander, and I really like him as an actor. I hope he really takes off. He was in Bloodshot with Vin Diesel as the villain, and I thought he was way over the top in that movie, and it didn't really work for the tone it went for. But I'm very curious to watch this. It's also put out by Cinedigm, who while I don't love every movie they put out, a lot of them come off as like really low budget and, well, not just low budget, but just like poorly made action films. I didn't mind Acceleration. I think I gave that a 7, which means it's decent. I didn't mind it. I kind of bumped it up a bit because I liked the acting from Natalie Byrne. She was really good, and it seemed like she knew how to fight because she does. And there were some pretty well put together fight scenes. It's just the story itself was a bit meh, and certain other actors were kind of meh. I wish Dolph Lundgren had more to do. The only other two Sentai movies I can think of that I really liked were Scorched Earth with Gina Carano, the kind of apocalyptic western. That was a lot of fun. I think I gave that a 9. And River Runs Red, which was kind of a cop, like a justice system screws over the guy. He gets revenge against the dirty cops that killed his son. I don't know if I'd give it a 9 now, but I did like how ambitious it was on the very obviously low budget. I liked the cast. The cast was very interesting. But yeah. Don't write off a company just because they make a lot of bad movies. Come Out and Play. I have never heard of this film. I am very curious because the director is someone named Mekhanov, which one name directors, you know it's got to be good. But yeah, Oh, why aren't you focusing? Sorry, the camera's being a bit of an asshole. But yeah, I'm very interested in this. Just caught my eye. Yeah. I think it's supposed to be a horror movie. Needed this to complete the collection. Chronicles of Riddick Dark Fury. This bridges the gap between Pitch Black and the Chronicles of Riddick. It's kind of like a connecting story, kind of like that thing. There was like a special feature on the DVD and Blu-ray of Too Fast, Too Furious that bridged the gap between the first and the second, but not really. And it was just like Paul Walker driving a bunch of cars and showing how he ended up in the new place, which you could have just said, oh, Paul Walker drove there. And that was directed by the same guy who directed War with Jason Statham and Jet Li, which I'm so curious about. I've heard the fight scenes are horribly handled, and I know that there are a lot of people who love that movie. But yeah, I'm very curious. This was directed by Peter Chung, who did Ian Flux. And the matriculated segment of the Animatrix, which that was one of the better segments of the Animatrix, I remember. I'll have to watch that again in the rest of the Matrix movies, but I do think this animation style fits well with this universe, so can't wait to see it. Also, it's only a short. It's 35 minutes long. But Vin Diesel's in it, Keith David, Brianna Griffith, Tress MacNeille, so you got some voice actors in there. Had to get this. We didn't watch it this Christmas, but we will sometime. It's still in full frame, but yeah. Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, classic. I've always loved this. It always makes me feel good when I see it and remember the parts that I used to laugh at and still find kind of creepy. Who would have known a Rankin Bass Christmas special has more effective jump scares than a lot of horror movies nowadays? Who would have thought? But yeah, there's some interesting bonus features. What's it called? Animagic. That's what it's called. Animagic is what they called the stop motion animation. But yeah, some very interesting special features talking about how the film was made. But yeah. Glad I got this. Give me just a second. Okay. Sorry about that. Bad Boys 1 and 2. I don't own the film, so I was just sprung for the DVD. It was like $8, which is fine. Martin Lawrence and Will Smith, yes, with all the shit Will Smith said and all that. It's really dumb, but I still want to give these films a chance. I like the cast. Oh god, Gabrielle Union. Let's just hope he doesn't do that much. But yeah, very curious about the running times. The first one's 2 hours and the second one's 2.5 hours. But yeah, I've heard these are like really like explosion heavy, gunfight heavy action movies directed by Michael Bay. So I'm very curious to give it a chance. I haven't seen many Michael Bay films. Unbroken 2-movie collection. The first one directed by Angelina Jolie. Second directed by Harold Crunk, who directed God's Not Dead and God's Not Dead 2, which I'm a bit iffy on. I don't remember hating God's Not Dead. I remembered it being very one-sided, which a lot of Christian movies tend to be. There are some that I like, but my main point for God's Not Dead would be Kevin Sorbo. He was really good. He had some moments where he got a bit overdone with the acting. Sorry about my hair. My hair's a mess. But yeah, I'm very curious about this. Tell the story of Louis Zamperini. Survived a raft in a near fatal plane crash in World War II. And these are the two movies. But yeah, very, very interested in watching these. I've never seen a film directed by Angelina Jolie. I don't mind her as an actress. Even though I have the first one on Blu-ray, I don't have the second one, and it was like $3. So, Inside Man 2-movie collection. The second one is Most Wanted. Directed by MJ Bassett, who directed Death Watch, which was like a ghost story horror movie taking place during World War II, which was pretty damn good horror movie, I remember. And then MJ did, I think MJ is transgender. I can't remember what gender now. I think MJ is a female. I don't remember. But MJ's kind of struggled ever since then, because she then did Silent Hill Revelation 3D, which I remember people hating. I never saw it. I saw the first one. I liked the first one. She did Rogue with Megan Fox, which I'm curious about. And she did like another one back to back with that. Shot it back to back. Oh, Solomon Kane. She also did Solomon Kane, which, not the one back to back. But yeah, curious about the sequel. I never saw Inside Man 1, but I'm curious about it. Also, Race Seahorn is in the second one, which I like her. Got this because I'm curious about the whole kaiju thing. King Kong, Peter Jackson's King Kong versus Godzilla, and King Kong Escapes. The second and third ones are Japanese films. The third one is Rankin and Bass production. It's the same company that made fucking Rudolph. So I'm very curious. I remembered not really liking the first King Kong. How did they fit an over 3-hour-long movie on one DVD? Sorry everybody, I'm a bit tired. Y'all can deal with it. But yeah, very curious about all three of these. And the last DVD, 3-movie collection, Despicable Me 1 through 3. I remembered really liking Despicable Me 1, thinking it was a pretty good kids film. The second one I remembered being a bit of a step down, and I never saw the third one. But yeah, for $5, I said that's all right. That's not bad. Yeah. And on to the Blu-rays. I only got 4 in this haul. Transcendence wasn't that bad priced. I'm always curious about movies that get overwhelmingly negative reviews. So yeah, I don't mind Johnny Depp as an actor. Joy with Jennifer Lawrence, Robert De Niro, Bradley Cooper. Yes, Jennifer Lawrence said some really stupid fucking things, talking about how she's the first female action star and no one had ever had a female action star. Sigourney Weaver's over there. Fuck, even Mira Sorvino was an action star before her. Fuck off. But yeah, very curious about this film. It seems to be a biopic of sorts. So yeah, I'm very curious how Jennifer Lawrence will play this person. This one I heard good things about, and I'm just very curious about it. I like both the main actors, Mark Wahlberg and Rose Byrne. I know Mark Wahlberg was a singer first. I don't care. I've always enjoyed him in quite a few things. Rose Byrne, I have a newfound love for her after seeing Wicker Park and seeing what she can really do given a like more psychological role. But yeah, I'm curious about this, and I hope it'll be fun and funny. And the last Blu-ray, Jaws 3 movie collection, Jaws 2, Jaws 3D, and Jaws the Revenge. Very curious to see these. I do not own the first Jaws. I probably will sometime, but yeah, wanted to give these a chance as well. But yeah, that's about it for this haul. I'll have a couple other videos soon. But yeah, especially the video explaining where the hell I've been. But yeah, if anyone can help me to finding out the origin of this thing, please let me know. Please, I need help. But yeah, I hope everyone has a nice day, night, wherever you are, and see you later.